First tonight, state lawmakers appear to be fighting back against the Marion County prosecutor who is no longer prosecuting people for possessing small amounts of marijuana.
A bill passing out of committee today would give the state attorney general the power to prosecute crimes even if the county prosecutor refuses to do so. Wish TV's Dan Klein reports Attorney General Curtis Hill says that he's neutral about the entire thing. Dan?
Yeah, Curtis Hill tells me it's state lawmakers who are pursuing this, led by State Senator Michael Young, who authored the bill. But Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears tells us he knows exactly who and what they're pursuing.
We certainly feel like this is all about possession of marijuana.
Ryan Mears made the announcement in September. If possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana is the most serious charge, people will not be prosecuted by his office. He says these cases disproportionately hit people of color, which violates the Constitution.
But there's still a number of other cases that we have filed if it's an individual who's operating a vehicle while intoxicated.
As well as public consumption and dealing marijuana. For Curtis Hill, Mears' announcement.
That's a problem because it's a welcome mat, if you will, to lawlessness and disregard for the rule of law.
It's the public nature of the announcement that bothers Hill the most. He says prosecutors already have great discretion in what to pursue and how to pursue it, even moving to dismiss charges. Hill's stance about Senate Bill 436.
We took a neutral position.
It's an issue that has popped up in other places like San Francisco, where prosecutors ignore public urination and prostitution. And while Hill admits Marion County is the only place in Indiana right now that falls under the wording of the proposed statute, by refusing to prosecute certain crimes as a matter of policy, he says this bill should not be connected to a particular crime.
I think we should be cautious about interfering with the discretion of the prosecutor. Now, one thing that we can consider is that if the community in which a prosecutor elects to not enforce the law, if they see it differently, well, they have their shot every 4 years.
Mears says state lawmakers have their shot, too. They should take up the marijuana issue in open discussions as neighboring states have and vote whether it should be allowed for medical reasons or decriminalized in other ways. But he says if this bill passes, he expects a court challenge.
I think the biggest issue is it raises a number of separation of powers issues that makes the enforcement of this bill highly unlikely.
One part of this bill that even though the state would oversee the prosecution, the county would still have to pay for it. Now, I did reach out to the author, State Senator Michael Young, but he was in committee meetings until late tonight and unable to do an interview. The bill, again, was approved out of committee today. Reporting in the studio, Dan Klein, Wish TV News 8.